And welcome into a Thursday edition of the Backstage Pass. Always here live in living color. And man, speaking of live in living color, just a few days now to arrive in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a CRS 2022 at the Omni Hotel, February 23rd to 25th. And a lot of great artists coming down. Anybody that's anybody will be there. And so will myself and Kirsty Krause and Jeff McMahon doing the best coverage out there. There's only one place to find it here at the Backstage Pass. Just some of the few names that'll be down there. Shannon Doa and, of course, John Barry. And a whole lot more, man. It's going to be a great event. Deborah Allen's going to come down and spend some time with us. Dallas Remington, Craig Campbell, Caitlin Smith from Sony Music, and Maggie Baugh, and, of course, Cooper Allen. It's going to be a pretty cool, sick event down there, which is going to be a lot of fun. And thanks to Bangtail Whiskey for making it happen, bringing us up there, too. One of our top sponsors, of course, MitchMacs.com and Hank Jr. Productions. So yours truly back here with Kirsty Krause. The excitement's killing me. But I tell you what, when I got this gentleman to come on the show, the excitement rose up a little bit more today. I know Ryan Griffin's schedule was crazy as it is with the radio tour, but when you get one hell of a songwriter mixed with one hell of a country artist and you put those together, you get Greylan James. And Greylan, welcome to the show, buddy.
What's going on? I'm excited to be here, y'all.
Brother, just good to have you too. And hey, it seems like this music thing, I was about 5 years old, I guess I was, probably out throwing sticks and rocks and swinging a bat and playing ball in the yard and tearing up my grandma's house. But that first guitar came to you when your pawpaw gave it to you, and you know, you kind of knew what you wanted to do with your life early on. Kind of tell the viewers a little bit about that story and just the music bug kind of bit you early, right?
Yeah, the start.
Oh, absolutely. The start. We're going to go for the very beginning. Here's the biography. All right. So, yeah, 5 years old, I got my first guitar for Christmas, and it was a toy guitar. Wasn't some fancy thing, but my papa was like, all right, till 10 o'clock you play this. And I didn't know how to play it. It was just like rubber strings, and I played it till my fingers literally bled. And I became obsessed with it. I'm like, I'm going to be a country music star. And so every year on the first day of school, you write kind of what you want to be when you grow up, on, you know, for your teacher to get to know you. And I always put, I want to be a country music artist. And we have all these papers at my house where I grew up that I'm saying I want to be a country music artist. And we have probably 15 years worth of papers when I was growing up, me saying that. So I've never wavered on it. I did it. 5-year-old me would be pumped that I'm with you guys talking about my songs. So I'm excited to be here talking about this and doing it, you know.
No doubt.
Okay, so who were your influences? Like, who were you at 5 or even in high school? Like really listen to you jamming out?
You know what? I started off with Kenny Chesney. He was my guy. He was from Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, East Tennessee boy. And Kenny Chesney's mom cut my hair, so I always heard about Kenny Chesney. Everybody always asked me when I first started to sing around town, they're like, "You're going to be the next Kenny Chesney, aren't you?" I'm like, "I hope so." So Kenny was he was the guy that I grew up wanting to be. I wore puka shell necklaces to Halloween and straw cowboy hats. Little stud I was, but I grew up loving him, and then got into George Strait and all the classics kind of growing up, and Waylon Jennings. My papa always had a Waylon Jennings CD in his truck taking us to school. And so I kind of grew up on the classics. And then as I grew up, you know, I got into guitar. And so Brad Paisley and Keith Urban changed my life. And I started becoming obsessed with trying to play guitar like a madman. And so I started doing all that stuff. And then as I started getting into songwriting, I just kind of fell in love with some of the greats, you know, Chris Christopherson and all the way up to now Chase McGill and Andrew Dorff and current songwriters. So I've had a lot of people that have influenced me and kind of got me to where I am musically. And yeah, I owe them a lot.
When you talk about being 18 and there's another age, I'm like getting out of college. What do I want to do? I just started getting into radio at the time, and you get your first major publishing deal too, and huge global publishing deal with UMPG too. Talk about, I mean, that young age, signing the deal. What kind of emotions went through you getting that type of recognition?
It was crazy. I'd never really understood like what co-writing was and what professional songwriting was before I moved here. I'd written songs by myself in my bedroom and about girls I liked and stuff, you know, and girls that didn't like me back. And I was like, this is how I want to get into this. Didn't get the girl, but I got the publishing deal. And so all my buddies were signing up for college. I'm like, damn, this is kind of weird. I'm going to have to go to college and do school. I never thought I'd have to do this. I thought I'd be a star by now. What's going on? And then all of a sudden I got a phone call from these people in Nashville that were like, we heard one of your songs on the internet, like drive down here. And I I think I might have peed my pants just a little bit. Me and my dad drove down here the next day, and they offered me a publishing deal, and I was a professional songwriter, and I didn't know what that meant. And I started co-writing and writing a lot of bad songs until they started becoming good. And then they just kept hiring me again and kept paying me to write songs. It was crazy. I didn't know why they were doing that, but it kept working. So yeah, it's crazy.
So having Kenny Chesney be one of your biggest influences, and then fast forward to having him pick your song and releasing it, talk to us about that. Talk to us about the backstory of the song and what it felt like, and maybe if there was dialogue between you two, or if you've gotten to meet him now. Tell us.
Yeah, you know what? I'll pull this up. So like I'd actually met Kenny when I was 11 years old.
Oh, you have a picture?
I have a
Like
picture.
Right there?
I have a picture of it, and you know what? It was pretty crazy. So I was in a bluegrass band growing up when I was 11 years old, and I was the mandolin player. And we got booked to play this private event for this beer company. And so we're there, and then all of a sudden there's just like this. It's like kind of a smaller crowd, and then like this big crowd is like coming in. They all got their phones out, their camera phones out, and I was like, "Who is that? Like, they're interrupting our set, man. This ain't cool." And I was like, "Oh, that's Kenny Chesney." And so I just medalling off. I flung it off, and I was like, "Dad, that's Kenny Chesney." And so I went backstage, and I got that picture right there.
I love that.
Oh, you're
That's
so
cool.
tiny.
I was tiny. You know what? Like Kenny, if you're
That's a
listening, I'm
prankster.
sorry, I'm about to throw you under the bus, buddy. But Kenny's not that tall. He looks like he's about 6'4" in that. That shows how little I was when I was 11. But so I met him, and that was the only time I'd ever met him. And then when I moved here and started kind of writing songs, we get these emails every week that say from our publishers that say, "Hey, this is who's about to record an album in 2 weeks. Keith Urban's going to record an album, so write for him." And so we'll write 20 songs, hoping to get one song that Keith Urban will record. And so at that time that we had written the song, Happy Does, we got this email saying like Kenny Chesney's looking for songs. I'm like, that would be sweet, wouldn't it? And I had no way of getting the song to him, and hadn't seen him since I was 11 years old. Had no communication, and then we sat down, we started writing the song, and kind of imagining what it would be like with Kenny singing it. We tried to write it like something Kenny would like, and we wrote it. Whatever. I remember leaving that day and saying, it's not the best song I've ever been a part of, but I guess it's all right. And 2 weeks later on my birthday, I get a call that Kenny Chesney's recording it like right now. And I was like, oh my God. And so that was June of 2019. And then the album didn't come out until the following May. And I hadn't heard the song, so I hadn't talked to Kenny, nothing. And so it was just, I was on pins and needles the whole time. And I remember hearing it for the first time. My brother, who's a police officer and emotionless, comes up and he's crying, hugging me. He's like, "I'm so proud of you." And just hearing Kenny sing, I'd grown up, going to school, and my brother had too, just listening to Kenny so much, and his voice was such a part of our lives, like a huge part. And hearing him sing something that like I created was unbelievable. I can't explain it. I can't put into words the feeling that I felt hearing it for the first time, but I thought that was awesome. I was like, it's just on the album. That's great. I don't need it to go to radio. It doesn't need to be a single. This is perfect. And then all of a sudden I get a call, and it's like, it's going to be the single. They're taking it to radio. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And it did. And he made a hit out of it. And then I finally got to talk. He called me on a private number, and I was like, oh my God. And he had seen that picture and was like, that is the weirdest thing. I feel really old, but this is really cool at the same time. And, he thought it was awesome. And so like it kind of sparked a friendship. So that was about 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. And since then, I think we talk every few days just about life and music. And he's recorded a few more songs of mine for his upcoming project. And so I'm excited about it. And it's pretty crazy. And they say don't meet your heroes, but I met one of mine. He's fantastic. And I owe a lot to him.
It's a story that you can have for the rest of your life, to your kids. And definitely, I did that probably last fall during COVID. I get a phone call, and I put in a request to interview my idol. So I know exactly where you're coming from. I feel the emotions on your face and everything there. And I get this phone call, and they're like, "Hey, Brandon, this is Terry Clark."
Oh, gosh.
I said, "Well, you're the number one person I listened to in the 90s. We're going to do this interview, right?" So we spend time talking beforehand, talking, do the show. She had a great time. I was like, you know what? If I died tomorrow, There's the interview I wanted to do. Bucket list.
Good. That's amazing, dude.
So I know where you're coming from when you just put your goals and keep grinding and keep working, and there you go. So it's incredible feeling. Hey, tell me about, speaking of that same topic, he was the one that told you, I guess, about the same situation. Stay in school, learn how to write songs.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, that weekend I met Kenny for the first time when I was, I guess I was 10 or 11 years old. I just got my first C in science class, and my parents were devastated. They expected way more of me. I didn't expect more of me. They did though, and Miss Souza, what's her name? Miss Souza, if you're listening, I'm sorry about to throw you under the bus here, but she's kind of hard on us, and I got to see, and she's like, Greylan, you're better than this. You're better than this. And I was like, Miss Souza, I want to be a country music star. I don't need science.
Oh. Just throwing that out there, teacher.
Yeah.
I remember saying that to her.
Speaking to a teacher as well over here. I mean,
Okay. All right.
Well, but I know where you're coming from. Yeah.
Oh, well, I said that to her. I remember feeling like, take that, Miss Souza. And she called my parents, and it wasn't good. And they almost didn't let me play that show. And I got my butt chewed the whole way there. And then we're meeting Kenny Chesney. My dad is with me, and my dad takes the opportunity of all things he could say to him. He's like, what advice would you give Greylan? Because he wants to drop out of school and just be a country music singer or whatever. And Kenny's like, two biggest pieces of advice I could give somebody. Stay in school and learn how to write songs. And I didn't stay in school. I got homeschooled, and I didn't stay all the way in school. But I learned how to write songs, so I did that. And it paid off for both of us, me and him. So
I love that too. What a story, man! I love it too. And I understand you're a big sports fan. We got to talk some sports later on in the in the show too. The Super Bowl and of course everything else that went on with football. But hey, it's time to have you play one. And I tell you, man, this single's already getting a lot of attention out there. Excited about it. Anything cold? Yeah. We're gonna come back and talk about that. I guess it's a good place to start, right?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Let's do that, and we'll come back and talk about it, then have a word from our sponsors, of course, MitchMacs.com and Bangtail Whiskey. And, brother, it is all yours.
All right, dude. Anything cold? Here we go.
Here we go.
It's a college habit. She got down to GSU, tied up shirt. She was just 22. First time her little red Jimmy Chips started on her feet, ended up in her hands. Didn't see that side when we met. She was kind of shy, no one ever would have guessed by the good girl vibe she wore that she's crazy for. Anything cold on a Friday night, anything slow from the man on the mic. Some with a label, some with a lime. Put it on her table, put it on mine. That's butane on a red hot fire. It's her thing, just how she's wired. Pulls my shirt, says anything goes. Oh, and I love how she loves when she slips on anything cold. Oh, yeah. Y'all, anything cold. Alright. There's just something about some smoking neon on her skin. How she talks and draws her heart in. Sweat on the side of her glass. Damn, I love how she does that to anything cold on a Friday night. Hey, anything slow from the man on the mic. Some with a label, some with a lime. Put it on her table, put it on mine. It's butane on a red hot fire. It's her thing, just how she's wired. She pulls my shirt, says anything goes. Oh, and I love how she loves when she slips on anything cold. Oh, yeah. Y'all, anything cold. Oh, yeah, anything cold on Friday night. Anything slow from the man on the mic. Some with a label, some with a lime. Put it on her table, put it on mine. That's butane on a red hot fire. It's her thing, just how she's wired. Pulls my shirt and says anything goes. Oh, and I love how she loves when she slips on anything cold. Oh, yeah. Y'all, anything cold. Alright. Yeah, anything cold, anything from the top. Hops from the tap, little Jack on the rocks. Y'all, anything cold. Alright. anything cold.
Yes, sir. It's Greylan James here on the Backstage Pass.
And gotta love it.
Tell you, man,
It's good stuff there.
It comes
natural.
Oh, you know what? I appreciate it, man. I'm excited about that one. I hope people like it.
There was a comment over here. I'm gonna pull it from the screen too. I was like just looking at it for when Al tunes in. Yep, he's right about that, brother. I'm okay. Yes, sir.
Hot songs.
Oh, cool. Everybody, now you've heard it live. Go check out the full production as well. It's one of those you just want to put on repeat and kind of get in the zone.
Come on. It's perfect for CRS weekend, and bringing anything cold to it. It goes really well with some.
There'll be some good ones there too. Hey, we'll take a quick break. Al's got another question. We'll come back and talk to Greylan James. You can check him out and get the single wherever you download songs out there, wherever you stream, and GreylanJames.com for the latest tour dates. And I'm sure there's merchandise on there too. As I always like to say, go to the artist website to get that merchandise out here. We'll have a word from our sponsor for CRS 2022, which is Bangtail Whiskey. My good buddy Brandon Bing. I talked to him today. Super excited to go to some events with us and be out there. And definitely, if you hadn't tried it out, go to easyliquor.com. That is where you actually get your bottle sent directly to your door. And of course, for merchandise, it's bangtail.com. Websites are at the bottom of the screen. And of course, MitchMacs.com for all the Backstage Pass swag, and our good friends over at Hank Jr. Productions, no doubt. So definitely we appreciate all the work that our sponsors do to make CRS 2022 possible. Hang tight. More with Greylan James here on the Backstage Pass. We're coming right back.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-hosts Kirsty Krause, Jeff McMahon, and Karen Lee Batten as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here with Greylan James on the Backstage Pass. And boy, I just got an email that's going to be a game changer. And we'll talk more about that with the team too as well.
Just a second ago,
I had a ding come off. And yeah, you're going to want to know who this is. So stick around. It's a surprising guest coming to the Backstage Pass. I can't say when or where, but when you hear the name, that's all I can say. Get ready for that. Anyway, presented by our good friends over at Bangtail Whiskey and, of course, MitchMacs.com. And, of course, Hank Jr. Productions, latest single, Anything Cold, which sounds good for CRS week. I'm excited about that because I'll have Bangtail Whiskey and a whole lot of other liquor tasting, I imagine. I don't drink much, Kirsty, but this ought to be a good drinking week coming up here.
Get your liver ready.
Yeah, get the liver ready, no doubt. And
we're going to be trying some Bangtail together.
I told Brandon.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. And I have like a half a bottle left from something that was sent last February of 2021 when we got them on. It definitely check them out, easyliquor.com. Get the bottle sent directly to your door because everybody loves online shopping today. That's the way to go. And definitely Hank Jr. Productions, check them out. And of course, MitchMacs.com. Kirsty, we have these coffee mugs that are out there right now, so go get one.
Yes.
As I tell people, I got it in the mail the other day. And I tell people whiskey or coffee can go, whatever your beverages can go.
I'm bringing it to our
Yeah.
booth.
I am too.
I will have, that will be my drink of whatever I have in it all the
I'm
time.
looking forward to it. Hey, talk about the idea behind Anything Cold, Greylan. I mean, hell of a song. I mean, what a song to write. What a groovy kind of feel, and I love it, man. And Kirsty's right. It's one of those you just put on repeat, man, and sit back and drink and just move your head to it and enjoy it.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. We wrote that song about 2 years ago, a couple of buddies of mine, and it was right at the top of COVID, and so we were all writing on Zoom, even though we all live like 5 minutes from each other. But writing on Zoom, and we were just kind of hanging out. And at the time, I was just kind of writing songs I loved, and just to see what happened. And a lot of guys wanted to record the song, and I always felt like this is something that I think I want to do. And this is one of the first songs that I kind of held back from other people recording, bigger artists, and kind of took a chance on myself and recorded it and co-produced it with a buddy of mine, Jason Massey, who would produce all the Kelsey Ballerini stuff and a good bit of things. He produces Ryan Griffin. He's very talented dude, but he co-produced with me, and we worked on it for a good little while, and we were really stoked about how it turned out. And a lot of people have messaged me. They're like, man, cranked up in the car, that bass can blow your doors off, boy. Yeah, it does. Come on. No, we're excited about it, man. And I'm hoping that everybody's digging it, and I'm glad y'all are.
It's one of the reasons we had to have you. Hey, talk about relationships with some other preeminent artists out there. Cole Swindell, you've written songs for. Chris Young, one of the top artists we just saw on the big CMA Awards show with him and Kane Brown and Famous Friends coming out too as well. But working with not just Kenny, but Cole, and of course all these other great preeminent artists who are always killing it, Nashville legends in the industry. What's that experience been like?
That's pretty awesome, man. I kind of went from 0 to 100 after Kenny recorded my song. Man, a lot of artists in town were like, man, we love that song, we love to write with you, and so I started getting put in rooms with guys that I'd heard on the radio either growing up or recently. And I'm like, that'd be awesome to one day write with them. And then all of a sudden it just happened overnight. And a bunch of them became buddies. Yeah, Chris Young's become a good buddy of mine. And we recorded that song about a year and a half ago. And really excited about that one. And then, yeah, Chris Jansen's another guy that I had three songs on his last album. And looks like a couple want to be on the next album. And I've been down to Chris's house a few times. I want to give a shout out to Chris because Chris had given me a stack of 35 blue jeans, and
That's amazing.
I was looking at my waist one day, and I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" And he was like, "What size jean you wear?" And I was like, 29. He's like, perfect. So he just had a bunch of jeans that he'd been given from being sponsored and endorsed by a bunch of companies, and he's like, I don't wear these, do you want them? I'm like, absolutely. So catch me next week walking around in Chris Jansen's jeans. Yeah, they're all good guys. I'd say, the thing I love the most about Nashville and the community is everybody's so welcoming to new people and new songwriters, new artists, people new in the industry, radio, whatever it is. People are incredibly welcoming, and so they did that same thing to me and let me come in and kind of put my spin on what I thought a country song is, and it's worked for a few of them that have given me a chance, and yeah, I'm excited for. I've got a bunch of songs with familiar names coming out this year and next that I'm excited for everybody here, including my own. Yeah.
Awesome. We have speaking of
I was going to put that up there. Al has a great question. I love that.
Expand on that.
Yeah,
too.
let's do that.
That is a good
Do
question.
you write alone still? How many writes do you typically have scheduled a week? What does that all look like?
Oh man, so today I've had 4 writes today, so I wrote 4 songs today. Today, but that's a busy day. Usually I do about 5 to 7 writes a week. It's usually either 1 a day or 2 a day sometimes. But typically now I do co-writes. Nashville's kind of built on collaboration as far as the creation process with songs is concerned. But every now and then, on Christmas break, I'll be at home and I'll just be like, oh, I want to just not wait until I get back to Nashville. I want to go ahead and write this song. I've actually got a song that I recorded that will be coming out this year that I wrote by myself, and I'm really excited about that one. But that's another one that Chris Young had actually loved that song, and he still loves that song and flirted with recording it, and he's still excited about that one. So wrote that one by myself. So I think it kind of goes both ways. It depends on the day and the situation, but most days writing with two guys or girls and just making stuff up every day.
It's great. What a great life.
It's the beautiful part about it.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot of trucks. That's a lot of trucks driving around in songs in a day, you know, but good.
It's a great feeling. I just love it, man. And I'll say this: so you're one hell of a songwriter, and just love the Happy Does you did for Kenny when he picked that up too. At the same time, your Anything Cold is knocking down doors already, and definitely, man. I was just talking to Sean today a little bit, one of the great publicists out there too, Sean Lashley, good friend of mine, and of course Will over at Morris Hyam. It's just a great singer songwriter. Your career is just getting started, and I can't wait. We can't wait to take that journey with you here on the Backstage Pass, no doubt, man. It's
I'm glad y'all early, man. I'm excited about it.
Man, we see a star in the making. We get the hook and put that hook in, brother, and we never we'll always follow you to the top, no doubt, brother. Hey, let's have you grab that guitar. Let's play another one. Your choice, dealer's choice. I always say here on the program, and then we'll pay some bills here, of course, and definitely again looking forward to it. CRS 2022 next week, February 23rd to 25th, and of course a lot of great guests there, a lot of cool events we're going to be at, and a lot of social media. Look out for a lot of posts from all of us out there. So it's all yours, my friend.
Let's go.
Dealer's choice.
All right, I'm gonna do the song that changed my life. I want to do the Kenny Chesney song, "Happy Does."
All right, here we go.
Yeah. Oh, son of Coach Charlie drives an '87 Harley, sells gasoline and what you drink 8 to 3 a.m. Got a tattoo for the core, and ex-wife number 4. Humming along, schooling you on the songs on his station. He could be another one cussing the government on, but he smiles. Got 100 reasons not to, but he's a poster child for happy is. As happy does. Grab a 6-string, find a rope swing, hang a palm tree in your truck, and drink a beer. Just because. Still a slow dance in a rainstorm, and a kiss from who you love. A laugh and live with a half-full cup. As happy is, as happy does. Some find it in the scripture, or a Polaroid picture, or flip a coin, head you gone to Tucson, Arizona. But it damn sure ain't in looking back on the stuff you never did. Sometimes you're gonna feel that life is better when happy is, as happy does. Grab a 6-string, find a rope swing, hang a palm tree in your truck, and drink a beer. Just because. Still a slow dance in a rainstorm, and a kiss from who you love. A laugh and live with a half-full cup. As happy is, as happy does. Oh yeah, that's all we wanna be. She's a long way from the old her. In this mountain diving boulder, every pickle jar, crinkled dollar takes her another mile high. Happy is, as happy does. Grab a 6-string, find a rope swing, hang a palm in your truck, and drink a beer. Just because. I'll steal a slow dance in a rainstorm, and a kiss from who you love, and laugh and live with a half-full cup. Yeah, when it's all black clouds, find the sun. As happy is, as happy does. Alright, that's all we wanna be. That's all we wanna be. Laugh and live with a half-full cup.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by thesportsguyspodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause, Jeff McMahon, and Karen Lee Batten as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by thesportsguyspodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
I love it. I love it. That's a quick note from our sponsors, of course, MitchMacs and Bangtail Whiskey, who we're going to be hanging out with all next week at CRS. Sipping and meeting a whole lot of people. We absolutely cannot wait. Greylan James on here today, getting the scoop from him. He sang his latest song that was cut by Kenny Chesney himself, Happy Does, which we spoke about. So I wanted to ask you, you have been going to Florida. We kind of were talking about this before we were going live. Talk to us about how many times you've been to Florida now to play shows. Are you going down there with a band? Is it acoustic? What are these live shows looking like, and what are your plans for touring?
We are going on tour. We're doing
okay.
So I'm signed to William Morris booking agency, and so William Morris has a partnership with 10 Roofs kind of around the country. I didn't know there was a lot of them, but there's a ton of them, and it's awesome. They're great live music venues. Even if you're not coming to see me, go check them out. They've got a lot of my buddies that are coming through and playing them, like Dylan Carmichael, a good buddy of mine who's actually recorded a couple songs of mine. Is I think playing that. He played there last weekend, had a great crowd, and so really excited about it. We're doing Raleigh tomorrow night, Raleigh, North Carolina, and then we got Columbia, South Carolina on Saturday, and then next week we're going down to Orlando and Delray, Florida, and then going back to Florida for Key West Songwriters Festival. So I won't be in Florida. I should be really tan next time I see you guys. Really awesome. Vibes when I'm back, you know.
Brandon, you gotta come to the Key West.
I'm gonna.
It's
you know
where
what?
we're all at.
That you've told me, you've done it, you've participated in it, and I'm with Greylan and what you've said. I'm gonna piggyback off that because that's one hell of an event, and everybody who's anybody is down there who's doing their thing. It's, so definitely for 23, man, CRS and Key West Songwriters Festival, we'll have to make it happen, no doubt. Hey, we do this thing called Rapid Fire. I'm sure Phil Moore told you about what we're getting ready to get into. So this is kind of a funny little segment. We get to know you more on a personal basis. The good thing is no SAT questions and no right or wrong answers. All right, first one out of the box. Give me your collaboration. Either it be a duet to record a song, which, I mean, honestly, you've had a lot of big stars record your songs. But if you put your vocals with that particular artist of the ones you've met or somebody you'd like to collaborate with, who would that be?
All right, politically correct. I'm going to go Kenny. Yeah, you know, Kenny, obviously. And then Dua Lipa. I saw her in concert a few nights ago. And I'm like, yes, come on. I mean, it's for obvious reasons. Yeah, Dua Lipa.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, she's
amazing.
Blown up. Okay, so since you are so young, and I know you were homeschooled, but still, what was the subject that you feel like you liked the most?
Oh, you know what? Like, I won the geography bee, and so I did that. I've got the
there's a spelling there. Wait, there's a geography bee? Like a spelling bee? Did you know about this, Brandon?
I did not know about a geography bee. No, I did not.
It's a real thing. I swear. I got the trophy to prove it. I have a globe in my bedroom. You know, when I'm giving the tour of my house, I'm like, that's my proudest accomplishment right there. I signed up for fun, and I didn't know that I knew like where places were like I did. I just guessed my way through it, and I won the geography bee. And so I'd say that, and, you know, I loved history and social studies. I loved all that, and so and that in English. I loved reading, obviously, and for songwriting purposes. But yeah, I gave you 3 answers for 1, but there you go.
There you go. More the merrier. Hey, let's do this one. Favorite food for Greylan James, and I guess we to that extent, 2 for 2. What's the best beverage for Greylan James?
Oh man, Busch Light. I mean, we're gonna go Busch Light, and I know that's not the most classy answer.
It's all good.
You can't beat that. I mean, in any situation, you know, just order a good old Busch. And so Busch Light for the beer, and then fried anything, fried chicken, fried catfish, anything fried, anything cold.
Fried pickles.
Yeah, fried pickles. I mean, I got an air fryer for Christmas. I've been frying everything. So,
Speaking of Christmas and the fam, we got some fam tuning in. Shout out.
oh man, Uncle Carl
Saying
and
hi,
Ellen up
congrats
in
on
New
the
York.
tour.
Come on.
Love it. Love
Come
it.
on, Uncle Carl, how you doing, buddy?
Okay.
And
Come on.
speaking of fried food, so Kirsty, I have to. She's been there, but I have to do Hattie B's, right?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you gotta do Hattie B's.
Yeah, you do.
No,
Okay,
Yeah.
so I like to ask like true songwriters this question, but what was the subject or the title of the first song that you remember ever writing?
Okay, I do remember this because I recorded it and I have a CD. My parents still think it's one of my best songs, but when I was 11 years old. 11 years old was a big deal for me. My grandmother had passed away. She was the one that had got me into music, and so she had taken me to sing lessons growing up and guitar lessons. And so when she passed away, I didn't know like what to do and do with myself and how to grieve properly. And so I went in my bedroom and I wrote a song for her, and it was called "Dear Grandmommy." That's what I called her, and it was just a letter to her in heaven. And yeah, so I think it's floating on YouTube somewhere. But yeah, that was the first song I ever wrote, so I'm proud of that one.
We might have to do some digging and share it on our Facebook page.
It might be in there somewhere. Now, I sound like a little chipmunk singing. I put an emotional chipmunk.
Yeah, an emotional chipmunk. Damn it.
All right, let's do this one. Bucket list vacation. I guess where would that destination be?
Oh man, that's a good one. I love the beach and all that. I love it, but recently I've been watching The Crown on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
And I want to go to Europe. I want to pretend that I'm that classy for like a month. And just go around, drink all the wine, and just drink all the wine and do all the things, and come back with a British accent, and basically that'd be my new life.
That's I could second that one. What you got?
I'm still on the new life and drinking wine part. I mean, you could probably hold that for like a good week or maybe two, and then
yeah,
back.
Right.
Okay, so let's keep it themed to Nashville since Brandon's coming in for his first time ever to Music City. Where does he need to make sure to eat? Besides, how to eat.
Make sure to eat?
Yes. Or go to. You said.
It depends on what do you like, Brandon? Like, what's your like?
I'm gonna tell you this: huge on Italian food.
Huge on Italian food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I'm a big pizza snob. I love
there you go.
Great pizza. All right. There's this place called Desano's. Right off of Music Row. So you can do the Music Row tour and then go right to Desano's. Desano's, like Dave Portnoy, my guy. He went and reviewed it. I think he got like an 8.2 or something. It did pretty well. And so Desano's, it's fantastic. Yep.
That puts me. And you guessed it, being that being the favorite food there. I'm going to do it. I think that's one of the first day priorities. And I told people, I said, if I got to Uber downtown and go to a restaurant and hang out there for a little bit, there you go.
There you go.
That'll probably be my first stop, just because I don't have much committed on Monday when I arrive. But I'm going to look for the pizza joint, and Kirsty will probably say, hey, I'll meet you down there, and we'll just have a piece of pizza.
There you go. It's fantastic. Yeah, let me know.
Cool.
It's all probably. I can't wait.
Come
Besides
see us on Wednesday. We will be up there. We'd love to see you when you're walking around. We will be
you're gonna
interviewing. Yeah. So come wave to us, say hi.
I definitely will. I'll make sure to.
Yeah.
Man, I got to talk sports. So let's throw this in real quick.
Yes, that's right.
Super Bowl. Did it live up to your expectations? I know for me it did. I picked the winner. It didn't. Well, I say lost a little bit on my wager, but I missed winning. Splitting a pot with my buddy by 12.5 yards, and Burrow led a little bit more on that drive.
Yeah,
we were going to win a parlay bet we were going to split $1,200.
Oh,
and I just missed it by 12 yards.
That hurts. I usually love like mom. Don't listen to this part. I love. I wouldn't say like degenerately, but like I love gambling, and I love sports betting, and I'm just anything sports. I love it, and. And so, but this Super Bowl, the last few Super Bowls, I made a lot of money, kind of doing all the different prop bets. And this year, the only bet I went with was the national anthem bet. And around town, Mickey Guyton sang the national anthem, and she did a fantastic job. And she did great. And she's known as like Quickie Mickey with the national anthem, like around the betting community. And so, because she sings it fast, like she sings it good. She doesn't like extend the song and, past an excessive point. And so I took the under,
Yeah.
like 2 seconds.
Oh,
She did
you bet on time. Oh my gosh.
So by the time she was doing Home of the Brave, like she was holding out Brave, I'm like, wrap it up, Mickey, let's go. And well, oh my God, by the skin of my teeth, me and Mickey, we got it done. And so I owe her one, and I owe a lot of ones. And so we did good. We did good that day. But you know what? I was rooting for Joe Burrow. I like his attitude. I was a big Tom Brady fan growing up, and so he reminds me a lot of the GOAT. So. But I'm happy for Matt Stafford and him and his family. So, yeah, it was a great game. It was a fantastic game.
Brother, I tell you, I love the story. Music in your bloods for a young age, and definitely that pawpaw who put a baseball bat in my hand and always wanted to go to the big leagues. I did get to work in minor league ball, so that was one of my favorite dreams to do. You're living yours, and I just commend you on everything. Following your heart and your gut and going to Music City and living your dream, because it definitely has turned out well. I cannot wait to meet you in person. If we're there, come say hi. And people need to check out GreylanJames.com and go get anything cold across all the digital platforms. My friend, thanks for being the pinch hitter today, and so lucky to get to know you, and thanks for being on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a fun time in Nashville, and holler if y'all get any trouble, all right?
If we get any trouble, we don't want to make the news, but I guarantee you there'll be some trouble to get into, no doubt. Looking forward to just taking the ride with this rising country artist, no doubt, and hell of a songwriter. Check him out, GreylanJames.com, and go get anything cold across the digital platforms. We'll talk to you guys next week at CRS. We're going to kick it off Tuesday next week, the 22nd, at the Music City Media offices, and our first guest will go live with Michaela Lane. And then, of course, Wednesday, the Great Madness will begin with 35 shows in 2.5 days, and looking forward to just every bit of that. In fact, I bought a new digital camcorder we get to capture a lot of great footage with. So definitely thanks to Bangtail Whiskey, MitchMacs.com, and, of course, Hank Jr. Productions. We'll see you guys on the flip side next week in Nashville. It's Music City's biggest event one time of the year. It's Country Radio Seminar 2022. So be sure and hang out and join us. We'll talk to you guys next week on the show. Until then, have a great night.